Look at the lands between. It is a world trapped in a rotting stalemate. Once a golden utopia, it now sits in post-apocalyptic ruin, the victim of a cataclysmic war known as the Shattering. The dense, tragic mythology underlying this decay was drafted by author George R.R. Martin, and it was Hidetaka Miyazaki and the team at From Software who translated that mythology into the environmental storytelling scattered across the ruins. Before the ruin, Queen Marika the Eternal ruled over the Golden Order. Under the guidance of an entity called the Greater Will, her empire operated with absolute, shining perfection. But that perfection demanded a heavy toll. Marika sealed away destined death so her reign could last forever, and she ordered brutal crusades to eradicate anyone who stood outside her vision, slaughtering giants, dragons, and the Horn Scent to consolidate her absolute power. The Golden Order was never a peaceful utopia. It was a fragile empire, held together by violent suppression and the illusion of divine control. That illusion cracked on a night of wintry fog. A group of unknown assassins managed to infiltrate the capital and steal a fragment of the Rune of Death. They used it to murder Marika's son, Godwyn the Golden. For an empire built on the promise of immortality, the sudden death of a demigod was a systemic shock. Gripped by grief, Queen Marika took her hammer and intentionally shattered the Elden Ring itself. She broke the very physical laws that governed reality. By destroying the laws of the world to cope with her own trauma, Marika created a massive vacuum of power. She doomed her own lineage. Marika's children claimed the scattered shards of the Elden Ring. Almost immediately, the corrupting influence of that newfound power drove the demigods mad. They turned on one another, sparking a bitter civil war. The conflict peaked in an apocalyptic clash between the two mightiest warriors, General Radahn and Millennia, which ended in a catastrophic deadlock. Neither sheer strength nor unmatched skill was enough to reunite the shards. With no clear victor, the world was left to rot in a perpetual stalemate. The demigods' hunger for control proved they were incapable of replacing Marika. Their warring only accelerated the decay of an already broken world. While his siblings squabbled over the ruins, one demigod fled. Miquella traveled to the Realm of Shadow, a dark land hidden far from the Erd Tree. Miquella had a different solution. He planned to ascend to godhood and enforce an age of compassion through universal mind control. He brainwashed warriors from opposing factions, like Leda, Freya, and Ansbach, forcing them to abandon centuries of hatred for artificial harmony. That harmony shatters the moment Miquella breaks his own great rune, dropping the charm entirely. Without it, his followers are instantly plunged back into deep paranoia and bloody infighting. Miquella's experiment proves that forced compassion is simply tyranny by another name. His methods make him every bit as dangerous as his mother. There is a tragic rule at the core of this universe. Ascending to godhood requires the literal and psychological sacrifice of a person's humanity. Look at Marika. She was split into two entities, herself and Radagon, a single god trapped with two conflicting wills. Miquella follows the same path. To reach divinity, he casts off his other half, Saint Trina. Discarded in the deepest reaches of the realm, Saint Trina makes a desperate plea. She asks you to kill Miquella, warning that godhood will become a suffocating prison that puts him beyond saving. Godhood and the lands between is a curse of duality. The gods cannot fix the world because the very process of gaining absolute power destroys their ability to feel compassion. There is only one variable left capable of breaking this eternal stalemate: the Tarnished. The Tarnished are lowly outcasts. Long ago, Marika stripped their ancestors of their divine grace and exiled them from the lands between. But that exile is exactly what makes them capable of victory. Because they are mortal outsiders, they are completely free from the corrupted royal lineage and the humanity-stripping pursuit of godhood. The world can only be saved by someone entirely removed from its divine hierarchy. It requires an outcast, one who possesses the ultimate freedom to stand before the Elden Ring, defeat the broken gods, and forge a truly new age.